November 121 Mike, your turn. Taxiing 111.
So there's two ways to do a crosswind approach. I can either set up a crab, which would be this, wings level, with my nose pointed into the wind. Now the deal with the crab is exiting the crab. Because when you land, your longitudinal axis needs to be aligned with the runway so that you don't have any side load on your gear. So, my preferred method is a side slip. So we're going to drop the wing upwind, and we're going to put in a little opposite rudder, and you can see here I can get back to my center line. I'll roll out of it right before touchdown, and that upwind wheel will touch first. There we go. Let's go again. There's two ways that you can do a crosswind approach. You can either do a crab or you can do a side slip. A crab is where you point your nose upwind slightly so that you track straight across the ground. A slip is where you tilt your wings into the wind so that you slice through the air sideways at the same rate that the wind is blowing you sideways. We've got plenty of runway here. So let me show you. So if I point my nose straight down the runway, you can see that we're really high here, but this is fine. 4 whites indicate that we're high, and we're being blown to the left. So I need to tilt right, or roll right. But then I have to apply left rudder to keep my nose straight. Watch this. I'll roll over this way. Oh, it's a little touchy, not quite like the real thing. But you can see that I'm sliding to the right. Okay, now I can go back the other way. The point is, at the moment of touchdown, your longitudinal axis needs to be aligned with the runway, and you really can't do that in a crab. So I'll put in a bit of slip, and I'll land just a bit off center here, and my upwind wheel is going to touch down first. There we go. Not half bad. Certainly good enough. Let's do that again. We'll do a few more crosswinds. Once I lift off, I'm going to set up my crab. My wind is coming at me from the right. I'll put in a degree or two so that I can track straight down the runway. There's a parallel runway off to my left, and I certainly don't want to drift over into that traffic. Okay, so as I make my turn on the final here, I'm going to use a slip upwind. I don't want to use a crab because I want my side load to be non-existent. So, since the wind is coming from my left, I'm going to roll left into the wind, but then apply a little bit of right rudder so that I can keep my nose tracking straight down the runway. Now, these pedals are a little touchy, way more so than a real plane. And my upwind wheel will touch down just before my other one. There we go. See, that's pretty simple. If you land in a crab, you're going to have a torque on your plane, and that's hard on your main gear. Now, most planes can, of course, land with a little bit of crab, but you should try not to, which is why I prefer to approach in a slip. But now on takeoff, with my crosswind corrected here, I'm going to almost instantly enter a crab, because it saves my feet. So I'll just point my nose a few degrees upwind as necessary to correct for my left crosswind. And that way I can track straight and not cross over into the other parallel runway's path. Well, that's two ways you can do crosswinds. Crabs and slips.